Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Season 3 of the Rule 34 podcast. I'm Jack, joined by
Giovanni.
Alright, so we're here, the two of us, because Dominic could not make it today. How have you been, Gio?
I've been pretty good recently. Work is starting to pick up, which is nice. I was able to... I think I would work Monday Night Raw, or the Raw after WrestleMania, or is it SmackDown? I don't know.
Raw after WrestleMania.
And I was able to see the main event, which was Roman Reigns and his brother.
Cousin.
His cousin, yeah. It was supposed to be against Brock Lesnar and Cody. Cody something, I don't know. And I was kind of hyped for it because I saw Roman Reigns' new whole tribal chief thing. Pretty cool to me, especially when he says "acknowledge me." It's really cool, and I was really hyped to see that in person. But apparently, I missed it because I was waiting for him to get into the ring, and then he gets the mic and then he says it. But then I texted my brother saying, "Oh, he hasn't said it yet." It's like, oh, he did already. As soon as he walked in, he said it, and I was like, what? So I missed it? Yeah, I was pretty bummed out. But overall, when Brock Lesnar started beating up Cody, I was very confused because I don't know the storyline. But overall, it was pretty cool. So all of the fireworks that they have, they're so loud. The first one that went off, I literally blew out my left ear. I couldn't hear. I was like, yikes. And every time they raised their hand or whatever, another 10 would go off. And I was like, come on, man. It's not that deep. And then, then after that, I did we worked the Kings versus the Oilers hockey match. We were able to see a whole quarter of it because we finished early. And it was, I don't know anything about hockey, but the Kings were playing like garbage. I don't know. But it's really fun watching them play. I don't know why, but it's something about them just beating each other on the ice is really entertaining. But yeah, overall, life's been pretty good. What about you? How you been, Jack?
I've been doing pretty good. Trying to think of what I've been doing before this. The Phillies season started, so I've been covering that, and I've been watching the games, and it's been pretty rough. They're 1-5 now, and not been a joy to watch, especially because a couple of our key players are injured, so just kind of sucks right now. Other than that, haven't been doing much. Last Friday, went to Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor, and that was a real fun time. Me and Mr. Solis talked about that on Tuesday's episode, which was real fun. We literally thought it was only going to take up half the episode, and it got an episode of its own because we just had a lot of fun talking about that. As I mentioned there, I took Dom and Ricardo, and then my dad and my brother went, and we had a pretty fun time. I don't think I mentioned it on the episode, but I'll mention it here because he's a part of it. Dom fell asleep during a match on the show, and it was funny because when I woke him up, he was like, oh, no, I'm just taking naps in between the matches. But then for one match, he just fell asleep through the whole thing. There was nothing about it that could wake him up from it. I don't know what it was. He just fell asleep during it. But then the rest of the night, he was awake for most of it. And it was so funny to see him go to this event that he knew nothing about, none of the wrestlers except Samoa Joe. And same thing with Ricardo. He knew nothing about these wrestlers. And by the end of the night, they left and they were feeling robbed of certain people not winning. And I was like, that's a pretty funny experience to have, that they didn't know anything about these people, but yet, these people made new fans through them. And then other than that, just been living life and sort of getting plans through for my future. But yeah, been just enjoying life lately.
That's good to hear, man. I forgot to mention that yesterday, Real Madrid beat Barcelona 4-0 in the Copa del Rey semifinal, and Jack, you probably don't know who they are, but we're mortal enemies. It's kind of like the Cowboys and the Eagles, but taken to the extreme. So yeah, we beat them at their home stadium 4-0, and I'm still gassed about that. So I just wanted to mention that.
W. Speaking of sweeping people, I think we should talk about what's coming up for the game that we're always sweeping people at. That's a lot. We're always getting
W transition.
W transition. We're always getting clapped in that game though, so it's not a W transition. Overwatch season 4 is coming soon next week, right? April 11th?
Yeah, April 11th or 12th.
It's one of those days. Anyway, The new season is coming. Before we get into it, how did you feel about Season 3?
Season 3 was a lot better than Season 2. Season 2 was some of the worst gaming I've ever experienced because of one character, Roadhog. But ever since he got neutered, it's been so much fun to play. No more stupid hooks. No more not being able to kill him because of his immortality vape thing. It's so dumb. Like, why are you not able to do damage to him as he's healing? But ever since that, it's been a lot more fun to play. Like, there's a lot more diversity when it comes to tanks. Like, Ramacha's really strong right now, but he's not oppressive. You could deal with him. There are multiple ways to deal with him, which is good balance. So yeah, Season 3 has been a lot of fun. I kind of picked it up maybe with 25 days left in the season, and ever since then, bro, I just been hooked.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned because I feel like it even applies to all the other roles. Now, obviously, who knows? Like, I've seen a lot of people sort of complaining about the game state right now, but to me, I don't take it too serious because when you see all the people that are complaining, they're at the higher levels, like the competitive scene or the higher ranks of competitive, and I'm just like, well, that's not us down here in the casual ranks, even those of us that do play competitive, we're still playing it casually, but the thing that I liked that you mentioned was that I feel like each of the support or each of the classes for heroes, especially at the level we're playing, it feels very diverse. Like, it's not just pick these characters, and only these characters. People are picking various tanks whenever they're playing. They're not just sticking on one. Even if Ramacha's pretty good right now, people are still willing to switch if something's not working, and there's other viable picks like Orisa, Reinhardt, even if there aren't viable picks, people still will go certain picks if it means countering something else, so they'll go Azaria or Sigma if they need. Healing, I know I play almost any of the heroes, but anytime we've played, I feel like it's been pretty diverse in the picks. I don't feel like I'm constantly playing the same heroes over and over. And same thing with DPS. It's there's various combos to run. So I do like the state of what Season 3 was, at least for us, where it's it was pretty good, and it had better games definitely than Season 2. Yeah, I definitely feel like the games were much better than Season 2, like you said. It's such a drastic difference where Season 2, we were ready to give up on this game, and now Season 3, it's we're just playing it constantly, and getting back into that grind. I feel like this season, I'd have to check the stats, but I feel like we've definitely played more competitive this season than the previous two.
Mm-hmm. To what you were saying, when it comes to tanks and DPS, the diversity is really nice because it's never the same. It's not Season 1 where it was just Sojourn and
Reaper.
Reaper, yeah, it's not those two anymore. But the thing, I don't know if it's because of our rank, but the supports that we've been getting recently have been terrible. You have DPS Mercies, DPS Moiras, DPS Zenyatas. Everyone's trying to DPS for some reason. I don't understand. We had a Zenyatta 5 minutes into a match with 600 heals. and then Jose was just going off at him or her in the chat, which could be the reason why he got a warning saying that if he keeps doing it, he's gonna get permabanned. But yeah, everything about the game has been really cool. But the thing that season 4, the trailer for season 4 dropped today, and there's a lot of things in there that have me hyped and also worried for the next season. Specifically Brig, because Brig right now, she's not the best unless a Brig main is playing her, because Brig is really oppressive if the player knows what they're doing. Because if she stays up, you're never going to kill her team. It's so annoying. And now with the rework, I feel that her ultimate is receiving when she gets like a really big shield. Would you say it's the same size as Ryan's? No, it's not. I think it's smaller than Ryan's.
Yeah.
But that thing is going to be such a menace.
Yeah, it does have me a bit worried. As much as I love playing Brig and like the chances I got this season to play her when paired with the right support duo, but it does worry me a bit. Now, I don't know. I will have to wait and see, because one thing people mentioned was just, you know, it could be really powerful, this new ult, in the right hands, I feel like, because I feel like and especially if it's coordinated, I feel like if any Brig, like how you were saying, if a person who mains Brig, or at least knows how to play Brig and utilize her kit well, is playing her, it's going to be utilized well. But if someone just runs in as Brig, doesn't let their team know, and they ult, it's like, I don't think it'll be useful for her to just have like a bigger shield. And like, it also takes coordinating, like, the whoever, whenever she ults, like the team has to know, like, to like play behind her shield, like when Orion has his shield up, it's like, you got to really rely on that. Like, I think it'll definitely be a pain when, like, you got like a ton of the other team low, like maybe you have the tank low, one of the other supports low, or the DPS low, and she ults and puts up that shield and blocks you off from finishing them. Like, I can definitely see that being the real annoying part when having to deal with this new Brig one. But I definitely agree with you in the sense of, I feel like it might be the same in season 4, where like it's gonna really suck if you're going against someone who really knows how to use and utilize Brig.
The combos with her ult is going to be really annoying too, because in the trailer they show her with a Hanzo and the soldier. Just imagine a Brig soldier ult running at you. There's literally nothing you could do, because it's not like Reinhardt, who kind of has like the slow movement speed when he has the shield up. A Brig running like at you with a shield up, plus the soldier ult is literally, there's nothing you can do. Also, I'm really curious about what the house of the shield is. If it's just like a permanent thing that no matter how much damage you throw at her, her shield is never going away. Or if it's like, oh, if you shoot now, because then if they give her like health, it's gonna be like, oh, just focus her, and then her ult is pretty much useless at that point. And like, besides like the whole, to be honest, it's almost season 4, and I still don't know what her ult does. Like, I know she gets like a health and speed boost, but like every time she does damage, like her teammates get healed, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I don't know. Break, like, no one uses Break, so I don't know. So yeah, the combos with it are going to be insane. Probably, and the thing that I'm worried about is the new support that's coming out, Life Weaver, because I don't know. I can already see him and Reaper are gonna be a really big problem, because let's say like I play Reaper, or I used to play Reaper a lot, and I was pretty decent at him. Just imagine if you take like a week on Life Weaver, and then we're able to coordinate. Like, I go in, do so much damage, and I'm about to die, and then you could just suck me back to you, and I'm completely fine. Because when you're sucking someone, they're immune to all damage. They can't die. So it's going to be so annoying.
Yeah, that I forget what they call it, like energy pool or life pool, whatever it is. Like, that ability is gonna be, it's definitely something worrying, especially because I've seen, I think I need to double check to like make sure, but like I've seen people say, uh, excuse me, I've seen people say you can pull people while they're ulting. So it's basically like a sim teleporter, you know, like you talk about having to worry about like watching certain people when they're gonna ult. You're gonna have to be watching Lifeweaver even if he doesn't have ult, you know, like it's gonna be like, you know, when Genji's trying to climb in the backlines or Tracer like that, like you're gonna have to be watching to make sure he doesn't get behind your team and pull in an ulting Orisa or Reaper, you know, and just like get a team wipe through that. Like that's pretty scary. And then, of course, the fact of that, like if you're like, dude, this completely negates all the bad Rhines in a sense. You know, all the Rhines that charge in there, you know, on their own. Like they could get to such low health, and then here's Lifeweaver pulling them away. You know, the only thing I've seen is that the cooldown is like really long. So like it's not like he can just constantly be pulling people back. Like it's definitely something that you're gonna have to pick and choose when you utilize, kind of like a mercy res in a sense. You know.
I think it's like 15 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's going to help a lot. It's going to help like mitigate the bad tank in the team, because I don't know, like a Doomfist, if he like doesn't use his abilities right, like he doesn't cycle through them properly, he gets a jail out of jail free card. What is it called? What's the saying?
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah, get out of jail free card. It's literally that. Like you could make the biggest mistake, and all he has to do is to tap E, and you're fine. It's gonna be so annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
And then to just imagine, like on Dorado, you see, like after the first checkpoint, how there's like if your character can do it, you could kind of go up on top of the balcony. Just imagine he does like his stupid pad thing. He like jumps onto the thing, and then he like grapples an Orisa in the middle of your team. That's gonna be the plays. Like we're gonna see a lot of cool plays on Twitter for sure.
Yeah, and then one thing that like I've sort of noticed when observing his kit that kind of makes me not necessarily worried, but like it in a sense makes me worried, but it makes sense given the nature of the role and especially the name. When you look at his kit, it's not the best like healing kit in a sense. Like his buds only do like a max, I want to say like 65 healing, and that's with having to charge it up, meaning it's gonna take a while to like fully heal someone up. And so it makes it, and like when I've seen like his damage output, like with his, like not necessarily like that he does a crazy amount of damage, but just like in comparison to like a lot of the other supports, he definitely like comes off as a much sort of like DPS style support. And so it just like seeing this kit that he has, and like his ult is more so like a passive healing thing, and I don't know if it does like any boost or anything, but it's like passive healing. It's not like, you know, a Lucio ult that immediately gives a huge boost of health. Ana's ult that, you know, gives a big chunk of health back to the person once they receive the nano boost, or Mercy ult where healing is like the healing speed is sort of amplified. You know, Moira with that big burst of healing and damage at the same time. It's like this one's more passive, and it like basically it's kind of signaling to me that they want to retry what they originally did with the support role. Because I don't know if you know this, but Symmetra used to actually originally be a support before they like reworked her into a damage. But she used to be a support that gave shield, and so seeing a hero with a kit like this where healing doesn't really seem like the main priority, it does make me a bit worried that we're gonna start seeing more heroes like this, which I mean it'll add to the diversity of the role, but it makes me a bit worried that we're gonna like see a lot of these combos where like the second support is like a secondary healer and almost like support first, in the sense of like they're gonna be utilizing their kit in other ways to support the team, you know, whether it's like doing damage or, you know, something like Brig with Brig's new ult, where she can play like the role of like a mini tank with her bigger shield when she ults. Like
Mm-hmm.
those two changes kind of signal to me that like the Overwatch team may be looking to like want to rework the support role like they originally had ideas for it before realizing like it wasn't working out when they did a character like Symmetra as support.
There's going to be. So they're going to add more to their support characters, not healers. And then, but that can easily backfire because if they just add characters that do very minimal healing, but they still do healing, but it's very minimal. But the rest of the kit is most on, I don't know, like mobility or I don't know what else can they do, like mobility, shields, damage boost or whatever. It's going to be very bad because once let's say you partner up with Jose and he's asking for heals and your entire kit has nothing to heal people with, it's going to get very bad.
Yeah, and I mean we've already kind of seen that with like well, even though their kits are still healing based, it's like we see a lot of that when someone picks like a slower healer, like a Zenyatta, a Brig, that like with Brig, she can only hand out her packs like as they regenerate. Zenyatta can only give one healing orb, and even then it's kind of very slow, and so people complain about a lot of those heroes, and you know people who play those heroes are like, they always say, I'm the secondary support. I'm not supposed to be your main source of healing. I'm there to back up our primary support who does the majority of healing. And I have a like secondary role where like I provide healing if you need like very minimal of it real quick. And then their roles, as we've seen a lot of these players, is like contribute to damage, contribute to shield, to kills, and like Brigida's will, put that shield up to protect you and like be annoying in the back lines. And if you play Brig well, you can take out, like the other team supports and squishy DPSs that don't have as much health. Like they can do that on their own. So like we've kind of seen it with heroes like that, but at the same time, they've still been very centered around healing. Whereas Lifeweaver doesn't, at least to me, come off as, healing like a primary like role. Because that pull ability, though it makes you invincible, that's not the use of that, like its primary use isn't to provide support in the healing sense. His bulbs that he throws at you because they take so long to charge up, he's not gonna be your team's primary healing. It's like I know Kiriko obviously heals fast with the papers and then the Suzu, but like she still works better when paired with other certain healers that do, or that like what's the word I want to use, that pair well with her abilities. But like I look at Lifeweavers, it's like you look at the damage he does, you look at his ult, you look at the life pull and all that, and you're just like, nothing about this seems to be like signaling that he's going to be a primary healer. And that's not to say that every support they add has to like be that like primary healer, but it's just interesting when you look at his kit and you're just like, something tells me like they're taking a new direction with this role.
His ult is very interesting too. It's a giant tree, basically. So he pops the tree blossoms, and it pulses like I think it's like every 0.5 or 0.8, and it does like a certain amount of healers, like AoE type of healing. But it's like physically there, so you could hide behind it, and that's going to be very interesting, the placement of it, because if you don't want to place it like behind you, because then as soon as you start moving forward, the tree, it's pointless. But then if you put it in front of you, but you can't get to it, it's kind of like you wasted it too. So it's going to be very interesting how people use it, and on certain maps, like on what's that, the map that I hate, Numbani, seeing how close the streets are, is going to be very interesting because you could just pop it somewhere. One, you have cover, you have AoE healing, and it's literally just another thing for you going your way. It's that also is going to be very interesting. And then what else does he has? He has
Well,
the leaf thing.
yeah, like a thorn. I forget what they call it. It's like something. I think it's thorn volley. Or wait, no, I think that's his primary fire. Sorry, I'm confusing that. He has he has the dash, like where he gets like
Oh
a little
yeah,
bit of healing, and he like is able to like fall back or reposition himself, which again doesn't seem too much like a healing centric sort of thing. I don't know if it heals anyone else like around him when he does it, but I know it heals himself. And then one thing about the tree that's really insane to see is that it has I think the same amount of health as Bob, and I'm pretty sure like you can use it to like block off certain things. So like for example, Nubani, like how you mentioned, you know how when you're capturing that first point, they can either come around or they can come through the building.
hmm
Imagine the team tries to fully push through the building and he places that tree to block off their path.
hmm
Like that, I think that's the craziest part about the tree is that you can use it as like a barrier, and it has the health of Bob, so it's gonna take a bit. Like if the team focuses it, they can take it out, which I have no doubt that once he places it down, like you're gonna see a lot of players like focus on taking it out so that they can't utilize it best. But yeah, his whole kit is pretty interesting to me, and it makes me a bit worried. And then like I'm still waiting to try and see how are people going to utilize the pedal platform where you know he can obviously like place the platform down and it's triggered by when people step on it, like it elevates them up. It's going to be interesting to see how he utilizes that. I've already seen, I think they showed it in the trailer where like he elevates a Reinhardt who then ults from the skies, like that's going to be pretty crazy to see like how they utilize that. And then
It'll go really well with like sniper characters because let's say like in the beginning of a round, he pops it on the ground, the Widow gets on it, gets elevated for, I think it stays up for like 5 to 7 seconds, something like that. And if the Widow's good, she's gonna be able to get some picks from a different angle that's completely unexpected from people. Just imagine like on Havana, you see like when you're on the attacking side, you come out of a garage and there's like a building, like he pops it like right next to the building, and then she just has enough to like look onto the street, but you're not expecting that angle, and she just completely gets a free pick, and you're like, oh, I was not expecting that at all. And also the thing that we forgot to mention is when he dies, he drops the health pack for his team and the enemy team, and that's 250. It does 250 for allies and 75 for enemies. That thing's gonna be so clutch.
yeah, like I saw someone say it's actually going to give use to your teammates who are always dying if they're playing Lifeweaver.
hmm
But yeah, that was an interesting too. Like the fact that he's actually going to be dropping like essentially health packs for his team, and I do like the sort of balance they did to where they're like, well, enemy teams can pick it up too. It's just not going to be as much healing.
hmm It's gonna be I don't know, because it's a cool thing, but it's not like an overpowered thing. Because like let's say if it's him and Mercy, and then he feeds on purpose, he dies, and that's a 250 health pack for someone, and he gets res for them. That's pretty much it. Because if he dies again, he's gonna drop another 250, but it's gonna be 4 against 5, and with no Mercy res. So then it's kind of be like it's just an extra. It's not really like something that, at least from what the way that I see it, is not something that's going to be like abused. Like it's like he dies, Mercy res, someone gets a 250 health pack, and then but what then? Because like his healing is bad, Mercy's healing is bad, supposed to be bad, but somehow you just can't kill someone when they have a pocket. So I don't know. It's kind of like a cool extra thing that he has, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's real tough to really analyze this character. At least for me, like as a support main, like man, I'm just really wondering like what direction people are gonna take this character.
I feel like he's going to be overshadowed by the Break rework too.
Mm.
Everyone's waiting for Break to be a little bit more what's the word, effective So that was her new ult. She's going to be like the new support star, I guess. And then Life Weaver was just going to be, oh yeah, he's the new character, but it's kind of like Ramacho when he dropped. Everyone was like, oh, hype, and then now he was bad, and everyone just went back to the other tanks.
Yeah, especially because what's it called? I think one thing that like does that is having to wait so long for them to be added to competitive, which I get why they do it, because they need to like first see if any changes need to be made, you know, so that people don't like take advantage of like certain broken things in competitive. But like that also sort of eliminates the hype because, you know, after playing, you know, quick play for a while, people immediately hop into comp, and since you're not able to play them, they're going to be focusing on all the other rework characters, and so yeah, like people are going to be focusing more on Brig because it's going to be a while before we can really see what Life Weaver can do in a competitive setting.
Mm-hmm. What else is there?
Well, there's the battle pass and all the other skins that are coming.
The skins look really nice this time around. From just the trailer itself, the brick skin that we saw at the end, that one was really cool. It's like black and gold, and she has like half of her half of her face covered by a helmet. That's really cool. The Echo one that kind of looks like a chrome. Well, she already is a robot, but it's more of a, how do you say it, like a mannequin kind of look, because it looks much more like a human than her actual like default skin. And then you have the Tracer Tron kind of vibe with like the grid and stuff. That's pretty cool. I'm not a fan of Tracer. Tracer's annoying.
I forget what they call that one aesthetic. Vaporwave, I think it is. That's what it looks like to me. Especially when they did that whole little like scene of her coming in on the bike. Like it's very Tron and Vaporwave type aesthetic.
We're getting a new map too, Tatlantis.
Well, that one's a fan-made map, I think. So like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that, and then. Yeah, that makes me wonder what is like. It says it's only available for a certain time, so I wonder if that's gonna be like an arcade game mode to play on that map.
It might be part of the like the Symmetro challenge thing or something like that. What else? Oh, what's his name? Stigma's mythic skin looks really cool.
Yeah, I really like it. I do wonder though, because like it was kind of easy to make out what skins were and weren't going to be in the battle pass when you looked at like the season 2 trailer, the season 3, and like though they tell you which skins are going to be available in the shop, and I mean they even show like a couple of things that say available in the battle pass, like most of them look like, you know, like victory poses and stuff. Like the only two that look like skins are the Life Weaver and Hanzo one. Like it does make me wonder, like some of these skins that we're seeing, like are they gonna be shop or are they gonna be battle pass? Especially like the final ones that they showed of like Brig, Echo, and Tracer and Ramatra. It's like I wonder if those are gonna be battle pass or if they're gonna be shop. And then I don't know. I'm just hoping for like, cause all these skins look great, but I'm just hoping for some sort of like, I don't know, like better way to like get these skins in a sense, you know. Like I hope they're still working out the currency thing, like, cause I don't know, like as cool as a lot of these skins are, I'm always not wanting to get them because of their price tag, especially when I'm so locked into the support role.
I feel like these skins, I sent a screenshot in the Discord for the audience. I feel like these skins, the Soldier Mercy one and the Sojourn, they're going to be like this the cyberpunk ones that we got for Hanzo, Sojourn, and Widow. But it's going to be like each is going to have their own bundle, which sucks because it's like a $20. You have to spend $20 on just the skin alone. The bundle's like $23 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that Sojourn skin it's hitting me different right now. And if it were to drop right now, I would definitely buy it. Cause yikes, dude. the soldier one, I'm not much of a soldier player. Like I'll play them if I have to. That is cool, not for me. Soldier though, she's not that good, but that skin is fire. That Mercy skin is fire, but I don't play support. So it's going to be like these are bundles for sure, which sucks. But at the same time, you know, it's cool.
Yeah, I know it's like too late at this point, and they're likely never gonna do it. But I honestly wish they took that sort of role, or not role, but like they took the format of like having a battle pass and still having loot boxes, but not having purchasable loot boxes in a sense. Because I didn't like, the whole buy loot boxes to, gamble to see if you get the skin. Like, I never liked loot boxes for that in the entire 6 years of Overwatch 1. But at least you could earn loot boxes through leveling up, through completing, or I think it was playing 9 games of arcade, which was kind of tedious. But like winning those 9 games to get 3 loot boxes was fun. Or leveling up. Sometimes if you just played a certain role, they would give it to you. So it's like I always enjoyed that, and I think they could still find a way to do it where it's like if you level up, in Overwatch 2, you get a free loot box. Have challenges that give you a free loot box for these events. Because that was another thing they used to do was you could get loot boxes for the events by I forget how many games you had to play. But like you could do something like that where it's like play 50 games to earn like this many loot boxes or something, Play this many games of competitive to get an event loot box, or just, make it so that loot boxes are still there but you earn them, and it at least gives you the gamble to earn more stuff. Because like you look at all the heroes that they implemented, and also all the new players coming in like you don't have any other way to unlock a lot of this stuff for the characters unless you just spend all the money, and that's going to get expensive for however many characters you want to buy items for,
Mm-hmm. They should do it, because FIFA, right? I play FIFA. You get so many free packs, and it's cool, but you get free packs, but it's not guaranteed that you'll get something from them. It's just there's hundreds of ways to get free packs. But you still have to get incredibly lucky to get something good or something worthwhile, like some of the new, like an icon player or whatever. They should have just done that. Just because we have the loot boxes doesn't mean that we're guaranteed to get a gold, what do they call it, a gold skin? Right? Or a legendary skin, legendary skin. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get a legendary skin, but it's just another way of getting stuff. Because like they could easily fill it up with a bunch of this useless intros of
that's what they used to do. That was the thing.
Yeah,
you would get 4 items out of every loot box, and your chances at a legendary or an epic were like obviously lower, and so a lot of times you just get commons and blues, and it's like they could do something similar here. And the only reason I always advocate for it is, again, for like the new players who it's like, do you really want to go and spend $20 just to get all these voice lines, sprays, emotes, highlight intros? It's like, no. The main reason you're going to spend money is for the skins, and that's why I think the loot box and battle pass and shop, format could work, because the loot box is to fill up your inventory of all these other things and still even potentially give you the chance to get these legendary items, even the ones in the shop. But for those of you that don't want to grind the game, or for those of you that don't want, to take the gamble, you can just buy the skin outright if you want to,
Mm-hmm. There's the new currency that they added, the white currency. That's a huge step forward, because you get that through the battle pass, and I think is that it? Because is that the only way you could get it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only way you can get that currency. They added it into the battle pass. So, and I'm waiting for this new season's battle pass, because I want to see if they took the approach of like a Fortnite, an Apex, where you get the currency so you can buy the next one,
Mm-hmm.
But I highly doubt it.
It's a step forward, because you can now you get the battle pass, you grind the battle pass, you finish it, like I guess like maybe like what's a good percentage? Maybe like 75% of the player base that gets the battle pass actually finish it, and you get maybe like 3K total or something like that. And then you could get a legendary skin for it, like one of the like the OG legendary skins, not the new ones, like the OG ones. Like, oh, I already like this young Hanzo skin, so now I don't want to spend $10 on it. Now I have a way of getting it. It's a step forward, but like let's see what else they do from like what else they can do. Like if they add loot boxes back, I feel like that's gonna be a huge positive for the game.
Yeah, and
They're
then
probably not gonna do it because they said they weren't gonna do it.
yeah,
And now they do it. It's gonna be like, oh, well, you said you weren't gonna do it, kind of thing.
yeah. Another thing I saw that was interesting was when it came to the battle passes and skins that appeared in a shop maybe for like a limited time. They said they're trying to think of ways for people to get them. So like they were saying like, oh, what about like players who joined in season 4 and wanted to get like the Genji mythic skin or the Junker Queen mythic skin, you know, that like they weren't present for. They were like thinking of like, oh, how like they just were like kind of like almost in a thinking out loud sort of way. They were saying like they have the idea of like trying to see like how could players earn skins that they weren't able to. And I was like, well, what would make the point of spending money on like the battle pass then if you weren't able to if like, you know, if you didn't like play and finish it, you know, during the time it was out, you know, because like that's one thing, like, you know, like for Fortnite example, you know, it's like the whole enticing factor of the battle pass is that everything in it isn't coming back, you know, so like it entices you to play the game and finish it so that you get these items because they're like never coming back. But I saw someone mention that I guess like in the Halo franchise there's like a battle pass system where like you can do previous battle passes, and I think you have to like pay for them, but you can only do like one at a time. So like you can go back and do them, but like you have to focus on it, like, and like you can't just work your way through multiple battle passes at once. It's like you got to work through them like one at a time. And so I was like, maybe that can be an interesting way of doing it, but I don't know how. I don't know what they're exactly trying to go for with that, you know.
It shouldn't be like, in my opinion, if they ask for more money out of us for those skins, they're going to get a huge, like a large amount of hate on Twitter or whatever. They're going to get a lot of backlash. It's like, okay, first they asked, like you said, they asked for $10 for the battle pass. We didn't finish it. Now I have to pay $20 for the skin. That would make 0 sense. I feel like they're going to just add the skins to like the hero gallery, and then we use the white currents. Does this thing have a name? Credits. Okay, they're called credits. That's so, and then they just ask for like maybe like 2,000 credits for the skin, which would be, I guess, equivalent to $20, but it's like in game. That would be, I would be okay with that. Maybe 2K's maybe a lot, but a K for a battle pass skin. I guess 2K for a mythic skin is okay because it's a mythic skin, but I think credits are the way to go. If they ask for money, that's just shameful of them.
All right, with a minute 30 left, any final thoughts on the new season, Gio?
I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm definitely hyped. If I'm being honest, I don't know how hyped I am for Life Weaver, and that's mainly just because when I look at his kit, it doesn't really seem like one I'll use. Like, you could ask Gio, I'm very passive as a support. Like, when I'm on Lucio, I obviously know what moments to use the speed boost, but for the most part, I'm like sticking on healing all game so people aren't yelling at me that I'm not doing enough healing. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know how much I'd play a DPS-centric sort of support. But I'm still hyped nonetheless. And, PvE soon, maybe? Who knows? Doubt it. They said soon. They said soon. I literally don't know when. Hey, the anniversary's coming up. Maybe they announce it then.
Helpful?
I have no. The weird part is they haven't announced anything as an anniversary event. They usually do. So it kind of weirded me out that there wasn't any announcement in this trailer because it's going to be happening during this season. I don't know. Maybe they're saving for it. But anyways, I've been Jack, joined by
Giovanni.
Thank you all for joining for this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.